We're going to go through a typical subgrade inspection. The subgrade is really important to get right at the start. If we don't get it right and have a soft spot, it can reflect up through the future pavement courses and cause issues during the future construction of your pavement. Before the inspector gets to come on site, it's important that the construction engineer undertakes a string test and a load test to ensure that, in his opinion, that the works will be presented to the inspector on the day to the actual approved engineering plans and to standard. When they attend site, the inspector, the first thing they'll do is to set up a string line like we've got here today for you. We need to be mindful of the pavement depth. In this instance, we're looking at a 490mm pavement and we have a 500mm offset with these pegs. It's important to remember that some of the sites regularly have a 1 metre offset. In this instance, it's 500. So we add the 500 to the 450 of our typical B2 curb, which is the curb that we're going to be placing on this site. So it gives it around 950 to a metre, which will be where we'll be dipping down to check our pavement depth. So we measure approximately a metre out, or 950. We drop down and we've got around that, it's pretty much spot on 490mm. Once we've done the pavement at the lip of curb, we come out and we want to check the crown now. So obviously the crown in the centrally located in the road. This particular site's got a 100mm crown, so we'll take 100mm off that measurement there. So we're looking at a 390mm crown. So we've got around that figure there now. It's around 400, so it's within 10mm, which is quite acceptable at this lift. We come over this side and we do exactly the same. We measure the 950 to a metre off. We drop down and we've got around 500. So this particular section of road, it's presented within 10mm, and that's more than acceptable for a subgrade. Prior to doing the final inspection, which is the load test, the load test is the same as what we do with all the other pavement courses. We either use a fully loaded rigid or a water cart with a minimum of 8 tonne capacity. We do a final inspection visually. We check all the trenches. If you look on this particular pavement here, that it's important that all of the clay material in the boxing out phase is removed. So as when the class 3 rock gets placed, it's going directly onto the compacted crushed rock in the trench. It's really important that the inspectors pick up on that where the trenches are, because if there is a layer of clay between the compacted rock in the trench and the placement of the next level, which is the class 3, it can cause a soft spot, a bit of lamination. So they all have to be exposed. And once the inspector's happy with that, if we look at this particular site, it's exceptionally well presented and it's ready for that load test we spoke about. The load test we're going to conduct today is with a fully loaded rigid. We've got 2 inspectors today, one on the curb side of the pavement and one out in the crown. As per other pavement proof rolls, which is we have one at the sub base prior to curb placement, and then we have the final one when the base course is placed. We need to ensure that there are no soft spots.